Hey everyone, and welcome to Clipper's Math in Society. This is an accelerated course where you have two courses in one. It's all pretty much integrated together, so hopefully it will be seamless to you, but it might seem a little more of a course load than a usual class, probably like 1.5 times. So make sure you allow yourself extra time. This video is going to just walk you through how to get started and read through the materials and get your first couple of assignments done. My name is Yvonne Fish, and I'm your instructor for this course. If you're in the hybrid course, we also have another instructor named Bonnie Rose that you'll learn more about later. So what we have here is when you enter the course, you'll see the home page and you'll have links to get started. Course materials are here. Math 92 resources. If you took that and you want to refresh, or maybe you didn't take that and you just want to look at them anyway, that's optional. You can go through and do that. Week 1, we have 2 modules to start with. We have the Getting Started and we have the Pre-Algebra Review here. So if you're in the hybrid class, we're going to meet Thursdays, but for the online, we just are asynchronous and do not meet at all. So as you go through, you can see the outline here. It's the same as what's on your syllabus at the end of your syllabus. And these are the weekly dates. And you'll go through until the end. And here's some more resources as well as our late policy. So when you first open the course, you can click here, whatever module you're on, you'll have a link to access it and it'll bring you right there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So on the right, you'll see this to-do list, which if you just try to click around on that, it's not going to work well for you because it's not necessarily in sequence the way it should present as it does in the modules. It might be good to use as a checklist. I feel like the grade book is a better option for that, or better tool. So we'll talk more about those kind of things later. But just to get started, click here, go to the Getting Started, and it will show you what to do. Welcome to Clipper's Math 107. Click here to start the module, then work in sequence. So you have to go one by one by one in order, in sequence, or you'll be blocked from further content. That's to ensure that you've read all the things about proper etiquette, how to act online before you're having discussions. We have a lot of discussion boards in this class, so we want to make sure that's set. We want to also make sure you've read the syllabus and you know what's going on with that. If you wanted to poke around with stuff before you went through all of that, you can look at the materials. You can see what we're using. It's all free, basically, and integrated online. It's just part of your assignments. You'll have what you need there wrapped up in a nice little package in your assignments with your videos, your workbook. There's worksheets that go with it. And you can print those or you can write on paper. You don't have to have a printer, but you do have to have a method to scan, and that will be in your Getting Started module, all that information. So this is really important just to get right on it, because you cannot access any content for the course until you do that. This is set to be a prerequisite, so or have the prerequisite of getting started. So that's just to make sure we can catch everything early. But your first assignments are due pretty much right away. Everything's due Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, typically, not always, but in general. And you have a 3-day grace period to turn things in. So that just holds for anybody, anything. It's like your turn-in window. So here where it says April 5th, don't panic if you added in the class a little late or something like that. It's really not due until 3 days later. Okay, no penalties or anything. And we'll go through more of that as you go through the Getting Started module. Make sure you read that. But I'm going to just walk you through the first couple of things. So to start, just click there. And what I suggest is you read through carefully all the stuff that you need to. And then once you read through everything, this is kind of about how this works. And you will need to click next on the lower right corner. Sometimes there's a task to do. This one just is to read the page. This one is your syllabus. And of course you would read through that. But see here, it says I have to view the page. So it did not count it because it hadn't loaded yet. So watch for things like that. So now I should be able to click next. And now it shows. Okay. So here's the course info in the setup and how things kind of work, and the lessons and the classwork, in quotes, because it's virtual, is watching the videos and you're taking notes just like you're in a traditional class. But then there's also problems. I say pause the video and try this one on your own, or these few on your own, and you do them and then check against the video to make sure that you got them right. And you're going to just submit all those as notes, everything together. And depending how your computer presents this, or tablet or phone, whatever you're working on, I suggest, some kind of laptop is good, or regular desktop. But sometimes on your phone, it looks a lot different. So it might look different than mine. This mark as done might be in another spot. But once you read this, the task here is to mark as done and then move on. If I didn't do that, it would flag me and tell me what I was missing. And then here's about me. If you're in the hybrid, Bonnie will add her parts in and things like that. I'm going to go back to modules for a minute so you can see what happens. I'm going to collapse everything I don't need right now and just open the getting started, and see it's not done yet, but it's tracked where I left off, which is, I really like that. When I take classes, I want to know if I had to leave it in the middle of a module, I can come back. In this module, sometimes I put time estimates, maybe take a couple hours, might take a lot less, might take you a half hour, but just kind of to give you an idea of what you might need to spend. I anticipate it's probably more like a half hour, unless you're kind of doing other things here and there as you go through. So you can look through the rest of it on your own. Make sure you read through the late policy. Again, anything can be turned in 3 days late. I'll just quick go through. And you get a bunch of late passes for your electronic homework, and you can use those multiple times. The Canvas work, like activities and lessons and things like that, you actually need to do within the 3 days. And here I have to do mark as done once I go through this electronic homework, and that's just so you know you actually did it. Because if you start the electronic homework and only submit one thing or nothing and just submit, you're really not done with it. So this assignment is just to help you learn how to type stuff in, to work it, to see if there's any tech issues or stuff we need to, map out before you go on. So if you click done here, that is not the same as clicking done here. This is a Canvas module task. So, and it's okay to leave because you can go back into the homework anytime you want. This is just about Desmos, the free online calculator system we use, which is really great. Here's a syllabus questionnaire. Use your current syllabus to update that. And see, it won't let me go on until I take that quiz. So again, like, it'll tell you when you get blocked. I can also look in there if you're stuck. I'm going to stop there on this, but the next few things are introduce yourself. All the directions are there. If you're having trouble with directions, there's usually a support video if the written directions aren't working well. How to upload scanned work as a PDF file is really important. So here's a practice assignment on that with some things to review as well. And I picked something that is a typical topic that students make common mistakes with. Then once you get through that, you'll be able to access this next one. You can kind of see what's in it in gray, but you can't get to it yet because it is prerequisite is the getting started module, which is not completed yet. Just a couple of notes on this. Everything's set up kind of the same way. You have lessons, you have practice, which are the classworks embedded in the videos. You have some kind of activity to do. If you're in the online class, you won't come to class to do it. If you're in the hybrid, you will. If you or in either class, you'll have some electronic homework and you'll have a quiz. And sometimes there's discussions. Often there's discussions, but this first week it happens up here, just introducing yourself. And then so on and so forth. You can look through the extra credit opportunities if you want. And this student remote learning support is pretty standard for every class, but it's all sorts of stuff there to help you out. And hopefully that goes well. There's some directions in the practice assignment of how to upload and comment and all that kind of stuff in this lesson on exponent review. So make sure you get to that. And again, remember, these are tight deadlines to keep you on pace to finish this accelerated course on time, but there's that 3-day wiggle room. Okay, and with electronic homework and electronic quizzes, anything in My Open Math, you are going to be able to use multiple late passes. So if you're 6 days late, then you would put in 2 passes. If you're 18 days late, you would put in 3 passes. You have 50 passes, so we should have plenty. If you're running low, just let me know. I really don't mind if you go back at the end of the term and catch anything up. It's best to stay on track with it. But don't stress out if you can't get it in on that, by the 3rd day. You can do it again. Put in another pass. So, but the activities and things that I have to hand grade and things like that, it's really important to get those in by the 3rd day. If you have extenuating circumstances, you can request 2 extensions throughout the term for things, and we'd have to kind of work together to put those. But a lot of times that just makes it hard for the student because it is accelerated and it's hard to finish on time if you are always kind of behind. So if that happens to you, it's not going to be a total loss, but we need to meet and I need to help you prioritize. And or if you're in the hybrid with my co-teacher, you could meet as well. But we want to get you to stay on track as best we can without having that stress of like, oh, I didn't finish these couple things, so it's a washout. It's not like that with this course. There's plenty of wiggle room, and we're here to work with you and help you stay on track and get back on track if you start to struggle. So definitely communicate with us, and we will often reach out to you as well. So I hope that helps you get started. Let us know if you have any questions. I say us for the hybrid, me for just the online one. And with the online, I love to communicate with you back and forth. That's really great and critical for success in whatever format class you're in.